in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look at my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. True crime, lollipops coming after you. Pop, pop, pulls the mysteries lock. Sweet detectives ticking like a clock. With sugar and grit, they won't stop. True crime, lollipops gonna make it rock. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy snoop. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Well, hello, my friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody's had a great day. Happy Monday. Thank you all for being here. Let's see, we got Blue Eyes. Hello, my friend. Hey, Daisy Dukes, how are you? TJ, Angel of Light. Hello, Miss Rhonda. So good to have everybody. Hi, Kathy. Let's see, Randa. How are you, sweet girl? Good to have you with us. And Bobby. Always good to have our Bobby with us. Let me see. Brianna's World, how are you doing? Hope everything is going good your way. Bobby says, I'm feeling better. I have all 5 boys. And they were all sick. Oh, goodness. Tell you what, it's going around for sure. For sure. Everybody seems to be getting sick. Of course, school starts back and all the sickness starts again. So it's how it works. Hello, Miss Charlene. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Catfish. Good to have you. So good to have everybody. Hi, Lori. Teresa. Good to have you. Hi, Diane. How are you? And let's see who else we got in the house here. Anybody else sneaking up in here with us? I know Jennifer Coffindaffer is live. I went and listened to just a tad bit of what she was saying. Of course, now the light video at 3 a.m. is nothing. It means nothing. It's not relevant to Sebastian's case. Okay, whatever. Hi, Peggy. How you? Good to have you. What? Daisy gifted a membership. If you were that lucky person that got the gifted membership, please tell our Daisy Duke thank you so much. And welcome to the membership. We'll play their little song for you in a little bit. Thank you, Daisy. Hey, me and you. Good to have you with us. But I don't know, guys. It's a lot of things happening and it's not okay. It's just not okay. It was old news, Diane. Gotcha. My goodness. Old news. There's nothing new. That's the bad part. Hey, Jacqueline. Good to have you, friend. Bobby, look at you. Thank you so much, Bobby. You're so sweet. So precious. Is it going to show up? There it goes. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see who else we got with us. Kelly East. How are you, friend? Hope everything's good today. Peggy. Just my girls. Texas Plain Jane. Hello to y'all. Welcome, welcome, everybody. And thank you all for being here. I love each and every one of you. I'm so glad y'all are here with us today. And for the gifted membership to our new member, welcome to the South.
Welcome. Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a name and get down? Welcome to the South.
And for Daisy gifting a membership, and to our beautiful Bobby for her super sticker. This is for y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all mean the world to me. Who was it that just put that in there? Bobby. I will never listen to Jennifer again. I thought it was quite funny when she was saying that. I happened to look at the chat and somebody says, have you informed Mob Crew of this? I thought that was quite funny because, you know, I'm going to try to. I have just got home from the doctor. I still have to get in touch with her, and I wanted to do this live. And I'm going to try to go over to her channel as soon as I get through and get with her. I may be going on Crime Time Buzz panels tonight, so y'all might want to come over and join us there. But I did go to the doctor today. I have my regular 3-month appointment. I go every 3 months, get blood work, get medicines refilled and everything. But today I got 2 shots and some medicine because of the fever that seems to keep wanting to just barely hang on. I can get rid of it for just a little while and it always is coming back. And so when I was at the doctor, it was at 100, not much, but it was just hanging there. So I have steroid pack and antibiotics that I'll be picking up. And then again, I had a steroid shot and an antibiotic shot. So hopefully this will get me over the hump and I will get to feeling much, much better. I don't feel as bad as I did, but I just don't feel great yet. Hi, Mimi Sandy. Yeah, it's a hard thing when you have someone that you respected because she was, you know, you can't deny her work history. She has great knowledge. And then we get so invested in these cases that it's hard for us sometimes to see past all the cloud and the smoke and all the things that she's probably being told that she needs to say. Randa, I might be doing lives all night long tonight, y'all, in the next 6 days. Let me tell you, because I don't sleep when I get on steroids. So y'all be watch out. I might just pop up with a midnight live. So if I can't sleep, I'll get online. And if y'all aren't sleeping either, then we'll hang out and chat. You know, I'm not sure if this is the way I look at it with her. And it took me a little while to get there because I was pissed when she was basically saying, all this is a lie. You know, we're not seeing what we're actually seeing. And, you know, flipping her story completely upside down, shaking the bag as empty as she could get it just to be able to say the words she was wanting to say. But I'm wondering if there are things that she's already said that were a little too much and they've asked her to pull the reins back. I'm wondering if they have things or something and they need to take the spotlight off of it. And I can see that happening. She said you could see Chris in the lights and that she was told it was very important. Exactly. And then today she said that it was so pitch black. Even Mr. Chris said you can't see no one. Okay, so now we're supposed to believe everything Mr. Chris says. Sorry. Not sorry. Not going to happen. It was a full moon that night. We've seen the neighbor directly behind them photos from their camera. The moon was bright enough. You could see things happening. You can see all the way to their house. And so, anyways, I just This is the way I look at things, folks. We can sit here. Hey, Kai, how you doing, Kai? And we can talk about everything. We can put our opinions out there. We can listen to Eric Craddock tell us there's no evidentiary value to anything that we see with our own eyeballs. We can listen to him say that the parents are cooperating, and yet there's no one been cleared. Make that one make sense. I'm not sure how that works hand in hand, but I believe there are things that law enforcement know that we don't. And I am hoping and praying that that information is in the right hands. Hey, Valley Gal. And so, with that being said, I think what we need to do is keep going with the direction we're going in, keep showing what we see, keep listening to the words that are being said by especially the person that was last with him. And we all have our own opinions. We can form our own opinions. It is so black and white with this case. But yet at the same time, there are so many people shooting arrows in different directions with the so-called truth that it's become a muddled mess, I believe. Oh, well, Mimi, we're so glad we have you with us. Exactly, Nisi. Yes, exactly. There's a lot that I've got that I've held on to for a while only because of all the muddled mess that's sitting out there in Sebastian's case. And there are times where I seriously, in my heart, feel like no one's really working to find him. Hey, Deanna. And so I want to make sure when I send that information, it goes to someone who really wants it and will really use that information and do something with it. Oh, Brianna, definitely so. Definitely so. I'm sorry. They can tell us all day long the 3 a.m. video doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian going missing. I'm sorry. But when you have light activity from the back of their home just a couple of hours before that child's reported missing, what else are we supposed to think? What else? Hey, Narita. So, yeah, I mean, was Sebastian carried out at 3 a.m.? I can't say. I can say this. I honestly believe that. Aloha, our friend. Aloha. But I can say this, and I feel confident in saying this. Whatever was happening at 3 a.m. that was captured on the camera on the house there on the corner in the common space behind the Proudfoot home, something was happening. It was done in the dark. It was done in the middle of the night when the whole neighborhood is quiet. Hardly anybody is moving about or up at all. All that says to me is nefarious. Something they needed to do in the pitch black where nobody could see them. And if you're only doing something that is not good, would you want to do it in the middle of the night where it's very dark? Hey, Kiki. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Hopefully, next 24 hours, these shots and antibiotics and all that stuff will start kicking in and I'll feel much better. There was definitely some stuff going on at Texas Roadhouse. There is definitely things happening in the backyard from the Proudfoot home at 3 a.m. I mean, there's no way someone can convince me that the activity happening that came from the back of their home at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night in the pitch black dark and one light went back to the Proudfoot home at the back of their home. And there was only one person that woke up the next morning in that home with all doors locked from the inside. Hello. Sorry. But to me, that makes everything relevant. Whatever they were doing, they were covering up something. Whoever was all in that involved in that 3 a.m. situation, it is my opinion that it was done for nefarious reasons. Mimi says, told you, Lolly, it was lightning bugs. Oh, you don't do things in the dark to have something not happening that you want very well hidden. And so, therefore, I will never think that they were just exchanging phone numbers or text messages and trying to get the right number. Oh, hey, I didn't have this number. Come meet me out in the back of the yard so that I can get the correct information from you. No, not happening. Hey, you forgot to take some Tylenol with you in case you have a headache while you're out in the crane. Come meet me in the back of the common space at 3:00 a.m. No, it doesn't happen like that. For those kind of things, they would have just pulled up in the driveway. But they avoid the whole front of the house on purpose because there was a camera pointing right at their home. So, and that's what I'm praying, Teresa. As Dog said, when he came on board, what's done in dark will come to light. And let's pray that that is definitely what will happen. Because Sebastian deserves the truth. Was he there when all that was happening? Or was he not there? Angel of Light, thank you for gifting these 5 memberships. Guys, if y'all were one of the lucky ones that was gifted, please make sure to tell Angel of Light, thank you. That was so precious. And to our new members, welcome to the South.
Welcome. Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff down. We got enough to go around. Can I get a break and get down? Welcome to the South.
At night, guys. Oh, Angel of Light, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And welcome to all of our new members. And look at Kiki coming in, being a member for a month. Yay, I got to make supper, but I'll be watching. Love you, girl. You're doing really good work. The question is, was Sebastian there at 3:00 in the morning? Did that have to do with him? Was it they knew that the police will be coming into their home, so they had to get rid of things, items, evidence, whatever? I don't know. Because the one key question has never been confirmed, and that is, did Sebastian ever make it home from Texas Roadhouse? After all of this time of talking about Sebastian and everything we know now, 18 months later, we know it's been narrowed down, let's say, to 3 possibilities, guys. 3. Either Sebastian did not make it home, or 3 a.m. he was carried out, or Sebastian was taken away in Katie's car parked in the garage with the garage closed. Where is Sebastian? And all 3 of those have a common denominator called the mother. The mother knows. She holds the key. She was with him at Texas Roadhouse. She was the one driving the car as it left. She knows. Did he make it home? She knows if he did make it home, how he was no longer in that house, because there is no evidence Sebastian ever left that home. I know, IML, I'm with you on that one. It's just crazy. But those are the possibilities, and that is through deduction on everything that we know and we have heard. Kiki, looky here. Or Kaya, thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. That is so sweet of you. Let me get back down a little ways. This is for you. Thank you, our friend. That is so sweet. Thank you for supporting our channel here. It is greatly appreciated. So it really just comes down to the very most important thing, in my opinion, is, hey, September Rain. Oh, thank you. Did Sebastian make it home? They say there's video evidence, but yet we've never seen or heard it. And, Seth hasn't seen it. They just told him. And I'm trying to find still where it was Sheriff Craddock that said there's a video within the car that shows Sebastian sitting in the back seat. How did he get in the back seat? Because we all saw him get in the front passenger seat. Too many questions. Not enough confirmation that this child actually came home. And so therefore it leaves lots of questions. Did he even make it home? Because there is supposed video and eyewitnesses that saw Katie stop at a convenience store before going home after she left Texas Roadhouse. Hey, Icy Bama. Oh, that's sweet. And so, was he handed off there? Or was he passed off? I think so, September Rain. I think this gadget they say is not a dash cam. If it wasn't a dash cam, I think it could be very easily manipulated. So it is very questionable. And when you put all the red flags in that we're fixing to start hearing, she is high tech. She is, I mean, she worked for a home security system, and yet all of hers were taken down. Isn't that convenient? The night that they're needed the very most. Yes, you're right, Brianna. You're right. It says, but remember, KP stopped at a friend's house that day, and she said KP lied because she didn't tell Craddock she had been there that day. So she called KP out on that lie. I just don't think Katie remembers the lies that she's telling to keep herself covered. I don't think she can remember all of her lies. And so we begin our marathon of red flags, we're going to call it. And we're starting today. Like I said, bring your notebooks, bring your pencils, get them ready. If you want to keep up yourself with red flags from their words, the words of the parents, we're going to start and listen to Katie and Chris in their very first interview. We're going to go through several of the interviews that they have done and things they have said. Then we'll go back and we'll start with Seth. Let's keep it fair. And so the red flags, yeah, I think so, Brianna's World. I think so. And it shows a lot on her face. And that's just an opinion I have. But I do think that possibly there is consumption of some sorts happening, trying to clear their minds. That's why I said get your notebooks ready, me and you. Oh, Lord. But we're going to stop throughout this. And there's this first one. I'm just going to play it. You will hear the words and them speaking, but you don't see nothing. You don't see them. And we're just going to listen through this real quick. So let's go ahead. I'm telling you, Mimi, I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine making a choice and choosing a man over my child, first of all. I can't imagine sending my child away all because my husband needs my child gone. But hey, we're not like that, are we? We are not like that. Yeah. You know, everybody remembers things, but sometimes there's things that are said that we only hear when we go back, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, a lot of people write things down, a lot of people don't, that's totally up to you. But we're going from the very beginning. And I have my notebook that I'm going to be keeping tally on things that are said because, well, more than anything, Sebastian's worth it. Sebastian deserves it. Very possible his eyes, that is very highly one of the top things that happened to Sebastian, in my opinion. Oh gosh, yes, Mima. You know, to dress as if he's, basically Seth, wearing the cowboy hat, longer hair. You saw his belly. You want to hear the audio from the cameras that night? I think I found it. I was looking through some stuff and I think I might have found that. So we can, once we get through with all this, we will definitely play it for those who would like to hear it. I just don't know. I can't confirm the audio. So it would be something that, you can make your opinion and form your opinion from. Hey, show poodles. Hope everything's good. Hey, little Miss Sharon. Welcome everybody coming in. Thank y'all for being here. We're going to listen to the very first interview that Katie and Chris did. It was with Duchess. And we're just going to hear their words. There's nothing to watch. So we're just going to start playing it. And let's go ahead and start that. And y'all tell me if you can hear it. I'm going to go back just a tad to make sure we have time that y'all can hear it. Okay, can y'all hear that? Did you hear Duchess saying that we have Sebastian's parents? Welcome to the live stream. Blue, I'm not sure. Okay, y'all did not hear that? Okay. I was trying to do it this way. Okay, let's go ahead. Excuse me. We're going to go ahead and play it and show it. Let me change my banner. This is from Duchess. I will put her link in. There we go. Okay. And like I said, there's nothing. They all get red flags. See, Pony got it all figured out. They all get red flags. Oh, that's funny. Okay, guys, here we go.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you joining us.
You're welcome.
We had a really good conversation today, and I appreciate you being willing to talk to me about Sebastian going missing. So I guess I will just kind of start out with Tell me what happened the day that Sebastian went missing. I know that his mom said that he was having a good day. He had had a great weekend. So do you want to walk us through what that looks like again for everybody?
He did have a really good weekend, actually.
Okay. For me, the very first red flag trigger that I got off of Katie's words right here. He did have a really good weekend, actually. So does he normally not have good weekends? And that actually for me stood out only because it was like, oh, well, yeah, he really did have a good weekend. Yeah. Almost as a second thought. Almost as if that wasn't part of what their storyline was going to be. But then you hear her go into very specific details.
When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing.
Mhm.
When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
Second red flag for me, when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here. I want to play this again because I don't know if you all hear it the same way I do, but there's no panic. It's just part of her story that she tells.
He wasn't here. School. He wasn't here.
He wasn't here. Did y'all hear that? He wasn't here. I'm just going to go back a tad more, just a bit. Here we go.
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing.
Mhm.
When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
If that's not the most casual words that a mother could ever say, so calmly, so nonchalant, no panic of recalling it. This is the most basic, generic version that we will ever hear. They had a good day that day. They came home. He was playing. She told him go to bed. He said good night. I love you, Mom. Love you, puppies. And she went on to bed a little later. And when she went to wake him up, he wasn't there. Guys, I don't get it. Not panicked. Nothing. You're right. You don't panic when you know where you put something. Just my opinion.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is not a runner.
He's not.
It's okay. Take your time.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood.
Okay, let's remember those words. Mr. Chris said he's not a runner. He's not a kid that goes outside. Remember, we heard this at the very, very beginning. Oh, sorry there. Here we go. Because, and let me tell you why. I want everyone to remember those words Mr. Chris said himself. He doesn't just go outside. Because later, we're going to hear Mr. Chris speak and say the words that a neighbor had found him one day under a neighbor's car. Because he was hiding. But he's not a runner. He don't go outside, remember. That's right, Sharon. Look at here. Sharon Marlowe, thank you so much for that. She says, if you believe in God, he knows. He saw you. And God always wins. Amen, Sharon. Thank you for that super sticker. Thank you for those words. That is so kind. I appreciate that. And so correct. But yeah, y'all heard Mr. Chris. He's not a kid that goes outside.
That knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, he is basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone.
Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone. How did he walk out of the house with the door locked? He's inside. He unlocked the door. And by reason of deduction, it had to be the front door because you can put in the code to relock it. Right? If he's running away, why would he care if the door was locked? But he wanted to make sure, this is another red flag to me, because he wanted to make sure everybody knew the door was locked and Sebastian was just gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town at work,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m.
Did y'all hear that? Mom, you told me you went to bed on the couch or went to sleep on the couch about 10 p.m. 10 p.m. She says, you hear Katie. Let's go back just a tad. I'm going to go right before that and listen. You will hear Katie say yes.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And nothing was
Midnight.
unusual at that.
Midnight. Let's make sure everybody knows it's midnight when she went to bed. Midnight. That is so crucial in their timeline because they know life activity is happening at 3 o'clock in the morning. They have to make sure everybody knows Katie was asleep at midnight. Midnight. She was quick on that word.
Point, everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way
Okay.
there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I
Slightly.
had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed.
Okay, so if she's fallen asleep slightly, she just confirmed earlier, just previous to this, she fell asleep on the couch around 10. So he's saying mom slightly started falling asleep. I said, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. So where does midnight come into play? All we're hearing right here is Mr. Chris getting this story put out there according to their script, in my opinion. Katie's already told us she went to sleep on the couch around 10 o'clock. Now, Chris is having to come back and do some damage control. If this is not a red flag, I don't know what is, folks. And I'm not trying to put words into their mouth. But my goodness, Katie just confirmed she went to sleep on the couch at 10. And then says you got up, you woke up a little later around, and Katie said midnight. Very plain, very loud. Midnight, she woke up. So if she's starting to slightly fall asleep, I had to say, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, and go to bed. She's slightly going to sleep. That's a 2-hour difference, folks. 2 hours in one paragraph right here. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what. I mean, Chris is saying she was slightly falling asleep. Let's go back. Let's hear it all and realize exactly what we're hearing. Hey, Retha. Let's see. Because here's where Mr. Chris starts coming in. Let's see. Okay, let's start right here. You said Sebastian went to bed at 9.
And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And
Midnight.
nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal.
A piece of what, Mr. Chris? A piece of the story that she didn't say? Is there a piece of the script that didn't get said? You weren't there. Let her tell the story. Folks, this is the first time they've ever spoke out. Everybody was worried about Sebastian. Everybody was just trying to figure out what was going on. everybody had their heart on their sleeve for these parents at the very beginning. Let's listen to them. Let's hear what they have to say. We're not even 5 minutes into them telling their own story. And they've already got it all screwed up. Retha, love you, sweet friend.
Still clear. So that way
Okay.
there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
Mhm.
So then mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning.
But she had already woke up. She went to sleep around 10 and woke up around midnight and went to bed. Mom wakes up early in the morning. He needed to make sure it was crystal clear she was asleep in bed by midnight and did not wake up until early in the morning. And at this point, no one's thinking about the 3 a.m. video because we've not seen it. So we all instantly think when it's time to wake her child up, she's waking up.
To go wake her son up, get him ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house.
Not a worried stepfather. He not worried. He ain't worried at all, y'all. Just mom's worried.
Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him.
Mom called and asked me. She was like, I can't find him. What did she ask you, Mr. Chris? What did she ask you? If she asked you, what did she ask? Because all we're hearing is she told you, I can't find him.
Like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
10 minutes. They were dispatched to the location. Guys, dispatch happened at 6:20 something, almost 6:30. 30 minutes after the phone call to him. 30 minutes had gone by. 30 minutes. He makes it as if it all happened within the blink of an eye right here. Mom searched everywhere. Mom screws up later and tells us she only searched for 1 minute. She goes to drive the neighborhood. It took her 31 seconds to drive down one street in their neighborhood there. With their windows up. Not stopping, not looking between homes, not looking behind trees, just driving her ass off down the road and back. Yes, Teresa, it was 6:33 when the dispatch call went out. The whole thing right? Niece, yeah, Nisi. The 10-minute police was called. That's a red flag. Everything's a red flag. The whole story is a red flag at this point. And yet, in the very beginning, we didn't even realize it. We did not even realize it. Of course, there's no mention of mom stopping at Worsham's right beside his mother's car. That never gets talked about. Mom drove towards the school, gets talked about. There's so much here, guys. But their specific script. The specific script is what Mr. Chris just told us, because Katie had already messed it up from the very beginning. And guys, it's their words. You just heard it with your own ears. I'm not making things up. I'm saying from the words they're saying to us right now, the words we just heard. Katie Proudfoot tells us she fell asleep at 10 o'clock on the couch and she went to bed at midnight, she clarifies. Strong and proud at midnight. But yet Mr. Chris tells us they talked, and when she started to slightly go to sleep a little, he tells her to get up and lock the doors, put the dogs away, and go to bed. And that was at midnight. Slightly fall asleep. She was asleep from 10 to 12, according to what her words were. His words changed the whole thing up. Yeah, Brenda. They don't mention that her bedroom light was on at 3 a.m. Did she fall asleep with it on? I'm telling you, at the very beginning, we did not realize what we were actually hearing. Red flags from the very first that they started speaking. And remind you, this is their first interview. They did not go on to a local news station interview first. They didn't. They didn't go to anyone that could help them directly. Hello to everybody coming in. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate everybody. And guys, remember, we're just going over the words of the Proudfoots. It's hard to just listen to it as if you've never heard these words before, because we've heard other words that contradict the words that are being said now. That's the hard part. No, Duchess was the very first. It was 8 days later. After Sebastian had gone missing, they never went to a newspaper place. The very first time they spoke was here with her. This interview we're listening to. There's another interview they did with her. It is not on Duchess's channel for us to listen to now. Then they did the interview with Olivia. And then they did the news interviews. So let's keep listening, guys. Pay attention to the specific words that they use and how they use their
And you had told me that there hadn't been any particular situation that had occurred where you felt like there would have been something that happened. And I also had asked you if there were any friends that Sebastian might have possibly left the house with, or if he had any contact with anyone on social media. Do you want to comment about that again?
He doesn't have a social media.
Okay.
And the only friends that he had were a couple of kids in school.
Okay.
All the kids that have had any interaction with him have been interviewed and asked.
Okay.
We as parents know how social media can be,
Right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated. Um,
He's very young in mind.
yes, he may be.
Right.
He's about 15, and he's 15 in age in his body, but his mind is not caught up to his body.
okay. 1 year later. 1 year later. His mother makes the comment on the 1 year interview she does that somehow she's not sure what happened or how, but people got the wrong understanding about Sebastian. She says he's not as young as what everybody presents him to be. Did y'all hear the words I just heard? Let's go back. Because this is where they're asked about Sebastian. Listen to their words again.
Friends that Sebastian might have possibly left the house with, or if he had any contact with anyone on social media. Do you want to comment about that again?
He doesn't have a social media.
Okay.
And the only friends that he had were a couple of kids in school.
Okay.
All the kids that have had any interaction with him have been interviewed and asked.
Okay.
We as parents know how social media can be,
Right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated.
He's very young in mind.
Very young in mind. His own mother tells us he's very young in mind.
Yes, he may be.
Right.
He's about 15, and he's 15 in age in his body, but his mind is not caught up to his body.
His stepfather tells us he is 15 in age. And his body is 15 in age. But his mind has not caught up to his age.
But that is something that goes through with autistic children, as everybody would know.
Right.
But for the record, I am a very strict parent. He does not have social media, not in our household. He doesn't online game. I'm pretty strict when it comes to that kind of situation.
Well, that's good. That's good, Chris, that you have control of that, because social media can be very dangerous for young kids.
I agree 100%. Social media can be very, very dangerous for young kids. It very well can be. If you don't monitor them, if you don't educate them, if you don't prepare them, it can be a very dark place for a kid to end up. Yes, Daisy Duke's another red flag. Mom acts like she's crying, then all of a sudden she's talking normal. Happens every time she speaks, every time we hear her, every time we see her.
Because they don't realize who they may be talking to on social media. So it's always good to have that awareness and to make sure you're monitoring, what your kids are doing. So I had asked you both, did you have any idea what would make Sebastian want to suddenly leave the house? And you told me, well, that's the $1 million question that everybody wants to know. All the detectives, they've all asked that same question. What is it that happened that caused him to leave the house?
The question, what is it that happened that caused him to leave the house? What happened? There was one person in that home with that child that night that knows exactly what happened, in my opinion. There is one confirmed parent in that home. And that parent, I highly have the opinion that she holds the key to everything.
And I know you must be so worried and so concerned. Is there anything, if Sebastian were listening to this live stream right now, if you knew that he was out there, what would you want to tell him?
Everybody listen up. If he's out there, what would you want to tell him? Okay? She's missing her child, has no clue where her child is. He ran away from home, poof, disappeared. Here we go.
We love you and to come home.
I mean, it's pretty simple. This boy has a very large family that everybody is asking the question, where are you? We love you, and please come home.
Yes. We definitely need to find him as soon as possible. If you live in...
At any time, did anyone hear the words, if you have my son, please let him go? Sebastian, if you can hear us, please find a phone and call 911. If you saw my son, please call 911. Tell them. To me, the lack of those words, the lack of urgency, the lack of, if you can hear me, Sebastian, find a phone, find a person, tell them who you are, and your dad is looking for you. Call 911. Desperate pleas from desperate parents that want anyone and everyone to be as urgent as what they are. But these two parents just expect him to come home. And that, I'm sorry, but that's another red flag.
this area, please search your property every day. He could be on the move. Just because you've already searched your property one time doesn't mean that you don't need to continue to search your property on a daily basis, just to be sure. If you have a lot of land, it needs to be searched, just to be sure, because he may be lost. He may be somewhere and he can't find his way back. So that's why it's very critical. Can you talk to me about the search and rescue efforts? Are they searching on land, air? They also have dive teams there. What can you tell us about that?
So currently, as of today, the National Guard was also brought in to help with the search, but they have had fixed wing aircraft, helicopters, horseback ATVs, side by side, door to door, scouring every neighborhood possible. I mean, the outreach from the community and various counties has been extremely welcoming, loved. I mean, it's we've been told this is probably one of the largest searches that they've conducted with so much input that it's a case to be studied for sure.
You have
8 days. 8 days, folks, that this young man is missing. 8 days. That's it. Just 8 days. And the words on the screen say it all. It's a case to be studied for sure. 8 days. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. You only study a case that takes forever to find a child. You only study what went wrong and why they can't find this kid. It's absolutely sad. Day 8. It's a case to be studied for sure. It blows my mind, guys. It blows my mind. At what time does it become a case to be studied? Right now, it's still ongoing. Everything's still happening. They're still looking. There's still hope out there. But Mr. Chris says it's a case to be studied for sure. He did sound very proud of himself. It's the biggest search. It just blows my mind.
a lot of people that are praying and supporting you right now. Was his ask, would he be able to ride a city bus?
Nothing is off the table as far as abilities. Could the young man get on a bus? I'm sure he could.
We've never done it before.
We've never rode a city bus, so I don't think he understands the process. He doesn't have any sense of money. He may have, like, let's say, a $20 bill in his hand, but he doesn't truly understand what $20 would get him.
He's good
Right.
at numbers, but he doesn't
I understand.
time and money.
Don't forget, folks, he's young in mind, okay? He's young in mind.
And single mom says, does he want his real father? Maybe. I'm just asking. Well, it turns out, single mom, that, he sees his real father every other weekend. And the real father, he is heavily involved in this situation
I
and
agree,
is
Sharon.
aware. And he doesn't know where Sebastian is either, correct?
Correct. I mean, I can tell you this.
His father's very much involved in his life.
Yes.
Oh, wait, what? What was that Katie says very quietly in the background? I can tell you that his father's very much involved in his life. Everybody listen very close. If you ever wondered or made it out to be that Seth had nothing to do with this child, didn't want his child in his life, had a busy life on his own, Katie confirms right here his father's very much involved in his life. Right, Kai? Play that for the hate channels.
Very much involved in his life. The relationship between all three of us as parents is Not your common one. I mean, me and the father talk on a regular basis. We call each other. We talk. Hey, if we heard anything, how's he doing? Is he acting up? Um, I mean, it's not. There's no really animosity in between the parents.
No, the stepfather just likes to dress up like the real father and make everything into a joke. Make it make sense, folks. 18 months ago, they're sitting here telling us what a great relationship that the parents have, but yet Katie has yet at that point and all the way to 18 months later still has not talked to Sebastian's real father. So how is it that there's no animosity in between the parents when the mother can't even speak to her son's own father? That is a red flag, folks.
That's good. That's good. Discovering the truth. Thank you for being here. They say, did he have any special interest like trains, parks, friends, maybe a school bus route that he loved? My son elopes and loves trains, so he heads to the tracks.
He loves playgrounds.
Yeah, he loves playgrounds. I mean, he loves to play. I'll give him that. Friends wise,
He wants friends.
Sebastian, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has 2 kids that he talks to at school, but he is extremely socially awkward. And so it's very difficult for him to make friends, which has been this boy's only lifelong dream. I mean, he Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I want friends. Birthday, I want friends. Anything that he could do to get a friend, he would love to do it, which is potentially dangerous because that could open up doors if for somebody to say, "Hey, I'll be your friend," and
Here's our next red flag, folks. Setting a narrative of the possibility. Hey, Sea Pony. Oh, big hugs to you. But setting the narrative that a possibility that this young man wants friends so bad, that he could be open to anything. Setting that narrative in place to help describe possibly why Sebastian's not here. I agree, Barbie. If Sebastian could see how many friends he has now, won't that be a glorious day? Yeah, I agree, Lori. I've just caught up that audio of Chris has been changed. Huh? Wait, what did we miss, Jensen?
potentially cause harm.
Thank you, Sea Pony.
Kim Holmes asked if there's any cameras in the area, and I did see, Kim, that they were asking for people that had any Ring doorbell footage or any businesses that had camera footage. Talk to us about that, Chris. We did speak about that briefly earlier about the people getting all the footage, but they haven't found anything.
Our entire neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods have voluntarily and with generosity given up any video footage that they've got. And I mean, they have let the departments come in and view and monitor.
generosity from all the neighbors that have camera footage. Folks, his mother and his stepfather had cameras surrounding their home, several, in fact. And if, you know, anyone was to get close enough to the facial boards on their home, they would see where they were screwed into the wood. Were being the key word. Were. Because on the night Sebastian disappeared, there were no cameras to be seen. Conveniently, they didn't have any cameras to turn over.
So as far as cameras, everybody has turned over everything. There's thousands of hours of stuff that they are combing through to try to find an answer.
Yes.
It looks like Tish is local to the
Blue Eyes says the cop behind them didn't give his camera. Yeah. Isn't that something? Not all neighbors were helpful. Well, to find Sebastian, they weren't. Taking things away in the middle of the night in the pitch black dark, they might be helpful there.
area. She said, I go to the grocery store or anywhere and our eyes are peeled looking for him. I work at a local restaurant and I'm checking
Right,
cars as they
TJ.
come through the drive-through every day.
Don't want to throw his
Bless you, Tish.
girlfriend
I know this family is
into the
very
bus.
grateful. Discovering Truth says, so he probably knows the route to his father's house, so maybe he was in the process of heading in that direction.
That has not been ruled out. I mean, like I said, the search that they are conducting is
okay. It has not been ruled out. That right there is misleading because by the time this interview happened, hey, YouTuber. Hello, everybody coming in. Thank you all for being here. But by the time this interview happened, folks, Eric Craddock had already made his statement that at that time there was no evidence that Sebastian had ever left his home. There's no evidence. So how is it not being ruled? How come that's not been ruled out yet? This is, in my opinion, a red flag where trying to create havoc here, cause a distraction, cause a different thought process, even though the sheriff has said there's no evidence that Sebastian ever left his home. It's absolutely crazy.
is extremely widespread and thorough. So nobody is ruling that out as a possibility.
But normally when he wants to go to his dad's, he just says so. And we just call his dad.
Yeah, I mean, it's dad will come down here. We meet him halfway. I mean, there's this.
I don't understand when mom's going to talk. Why does the stepfather feel that need to step in and clarify what mom just said? Mom was the one that was there. He was not, right? Bobby, thank you for that super sticker. That is so sweet of you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. You are amazing, as always. Thank you. Thank you. And guys, please, if y'all want to become a member, join us. We got a members live coming up, and it's probably one of the most important ones we're going to be having as of date. We've got a lot I want to share with you guys on what's being done behind the scenes and in some of the work that's happening and taking place. So definitely join us. You know where this is ending. I want to get answers. Tennessee has death penalty. Katie has already hired a defense attorney. Why is it now? Exactly, Legally Blonde. Exactly. Second video of Texas Roadhouse is out. Awesome. Guys, we will be doing more on the Texas Roadhouse for sure. We're going to try to get through this video here, and we may come back later and go over that new video together. And I'm telling you, they're putting out a lot now. They're putting some heat on. Everything died down for a while. Everybody got very comfortable. Well, can't let them get too comfortable, right? Hey, Roxy. Kafie said she went to Sebastian's room to wake him up for school. She then went to the kitchen because he had been making breakfast. Didn't she have to walk past? Yes, past the kitchen to get to his bedroom. Yes. Red flags all over the place. I'm telling you, TJ had it 100% correct. We might as well just put a red flag across the front of this video because, guys, the very first time they spoke out, everything became red flags. Oh, it just now came across her feed. Okay. I would love to see Seth become the sheriff. I wished he would move to that county there, just over the county line into Sumner County, and run for sheriff. My goodness. If Mr. Snuggle Struggle can be a sheriff, if the man can chew bubble gum at a press conference, anybody in that county could take over and do just as good of a job. Even better, I would think. My goodness. It's crazy. That guy irritates me. You don't chew bubble gum at a press conference. That is so disrespectful to anyone looking at you or listening to your words. And he was smacking away. And to put those words on social media proudly, the R word was too harsh. He prefers to call it snuggle struggle. Well, guess what? The R word is harsh. There's nothing nice and cuddly about it. It's absolutely gross. He's not corrupt enough, right? My grandcat can do better than him as a sheriff, right, Charlene? Oh my gosh. My Ziva girl could do it for sure. Yeah, it is harsh. The whole action is harsh. It's not done with love and respect. It's gross. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Ugh. Okay, let's listen some more, guys, because I know it goes on for a while, and I'm trying to get through it as quick as we.
He's never wanted to go to his dad's and not been able to go. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I mean,
RQ, thank you for being a member for 6 months. All of this is very, very helpful to help us.
Okay. Did you hear Chris say he's never wanted to go to his dad's and never been able to go? He wanted to move in with his father, but that didn't happen. It was not allowed to happen because whatever happened that night kept him from moving in with his father.
Better understand the situation that we're dealing with. And I did see a post on Facebook that it looked like everybody was asked to wear green on Friday because green is Sebastian's favorite color. What else can you tell us about Sebastian?
Thank you, Woman's Warrior. Those are sweet words.
He's an avid Minecraft fan. Loves the color green. It's got the goofiest and quirky smile in the world. I don't think anybody could mimic it, to be honest with you.
He looks like he's such a sweet young man. He
loves to dance. That boy he'll dance his tail off. That's
hey,
for sure.
There's nothing wrong with that. Dancing is good for you. It's good exercise too. I just really hope they can find some answers. Now, I did ask you guys because I know that sometimes when we're looking for autistic children that go missing, a lot of times people are concerned that they may be attracted.
Yes, Seth was asked. I remember, TJ, Seth was asked if he liked the color green, and he said he didn't know that was like the one color that he always had to have, but he said, green was a color that he liked. But to him, Sebastian didn't have a dominant favorite color, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sharon, that was completely, in my opinion, making fun of Sebastian. Yes.
To go towards the water. So talk to us about that. Is he a good swimmer? Does he like to get in the water? I think you did mention some things about that to me earlier.
So he's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Why can't Katie speak? It's the biggest red flag of all. It's Katie's son. Let Katie tell us what her son was like. She's right there. Let her speak.
But here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty. He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not a.
And remember, we all saw the picture of him sitting in the flamingo float that Katie liked to make fun of and throw her hands up and make the whole gesture like he's all laid back, like a cool cat. The child had on swim shoes in the swimming pool. Most kids swim in the swimming pool without shoes, just because it's clean water. Most kids use those shoes for lakes, sometimes even at the beach. When you go get in the rivers, that's what those shoes were built for. But Sebastian even had a pair of shoes on in the swimming pool, and they want us to believe he left the home with no shoes. He didn't like bugs, so we're supposed to believe he's out in the woods somewhere. Make that one make sense.
I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound.
Discovering the truth. I'm sure that they are probably looking into that. Now, I know that you said there was some misinformation that was going around and you wanted to make a clarification. You did tell me that TBI, was assisting, but that there was some confusion. People thought that FBI was actually assisting in this case. Talk to me about what you spoke about earlier to me on our phone call about how FBI is, that they were consulted, and the card team.
Woman's Warrior says, Lolly, I used to think she wasn't allowed to speak. Now I think she's just lets it look like that because she doesn't want to talk about him anyway. I honestly believe she's afraid herself she's going to screw up because every time she does open her mouth and speak, he has to correct her words. I think she wants to avoid the subject of Sebastian, sadly, as much as she possibly can.
I guess there's a discussion going on as to whether he qualifies, as, for the child abduction response team.
So the FBI is not physically on the ground. Somewhere in one of the news clips, I think it was reported that the FBI had made it on the ground. They're not. TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, has reached out to the behavioral analysis team or their CART team, and they are trying to work with them from a distance. They're not physically present, to help in any way,
I
form,
agree,
shape that
Alicia.
they can render their assistance.
Okay. Light and sound, thank you for being.
Now, let's clarify a little further here, since Mr. Chris doesn't want to be very specific with his wording. Even from the very beginning, the FBI offered their assistance. They were told no repeatedly from Sumner County because they had the lead on this. I know, right, Alicia? He don't know what he's talking about. But it's Sumner County that is keeping the FBI from moving forward with this case. So Cecilia, let's make it crystal clear. Okay, folks.
In here, have burner phones been looked into? I know some teens sneak phones from their parents, or maybe his computer use at school to see.
I think we need to check into burner phones or radio walkie-talkie communication type things, not for Sebastian, but for the family he lived with. That's my opinion.
If he has been
any
chatting.
evidence of a secret phone.
Okay,
Oh, hello,
good.
beautiful.
Because digital evidence is really
Welcome.
important. They want to make sure that he's not
Hi,
speaking to
Circle
anybody.
Back.
This is such an unusual case.
This case is extremely unusual. Like I said before, we are pretty strict when it comes to certain things. As far as comms, communication, electronic devices,
Mhm.
there was only one phone.
Comms. Did you hear that? Comms. Let's go back just a tad. As far as
Comms, communication, electronic devices.
comms, communication, electronic devices. Speaking like a professional who knows all about those comms, communication, electronic devices. Kind of like the ones we talked about.
Mhm.
There was only one phone that he had. It was extremely locked down. He had access to his phone, his text message, to only his contacts list, a camera, and a calculator, and that is it.
He's a pretty happy kid usually.
He seems like it. And I know that you love him very.
Do y'all see what she just said? He's a pretty Here, let's go here. Let's go back just a tad. Listen to her words. She's so sad in the background when she says the
A camera and a calculator, and that is it.
He's a pretty happy kid usually.
we're talking about electronic communication, and she pipes in, he's a pretty happy kid usually. Okay. I mean, Chris is talking about electronics, and Katie pipes in, he's a pretty happy kid usually. I know, right, Brianna? They caught him on social media. They caught him on YouTube, but he never gets on there. He is forbidden. Yeah, saved by grace out of the woodwork. He's a pretty happy kid usually. Man, I don't get it.
He seems like it, and I know that you love him very much. I know that I can remember earlier in our conversation, you were referring to him as
Yes,
Bubba,
Summer Rain. I
and I
agree.
think
That's what I-
that's sweet.
That's what
I
I
call my
call him.
son Bubba also, so that really tore at my heartstrings because my son, he's 30, but he's still Bubba to me. So it just, that name is going to stick forever. It's just how it is. Cindy Caton, thank you for being.
Speaking of Bubba, most of y'all know my granddaughter's goat passed away. Her show goat. We now have a new one, and his name is Mr. Bubba. My son said he was the only Bubba allowed here. We'd have changed the name. My granddaughter said Mr. Bubba will stay as he is. We know who runs this family, y'all. But yes, we have Mr. Bubba. And my son, I call him Bubba Kyle. I have to throw that middle name in there for him, for him to remember who's in charge.
Here, she says, are there any old wells that maybe he accidentally fell in, or any areas or mines that he might be at risk of coming in contact with? I know sometimes those things occur out in Tennessee. The divers, have they found any possible leads? I know that I heard that there was a possible pond that they were draining. You did tell me they were searching all of the pipes.
Yes. So when it comes to address her question as far as wells and things, I'm sure there's plenty of those around here.
They're searching them.
They actually pulled data for all the caves, underground voids, all of that stuff that could be accessible. They brought in teams from all over the state that specialize in either cave explorations, water recovery rescues. We don't know that they have drained a pond. I can say that much, but they have searched, they've dived them all for sure. They've walked, I couldn't tell you how many miles of creeks and waterways, and they've used cameras. The sewers, it's not really the sewers they're looking in. It's the drainage pipes. So that's for clarification. Sewer pipes, we're not going to find a child in. Those are.
We're not going to find a child in a sewer pipe, folks. Don't be silly. It's not like a young college kid in Corpus Christi, Texas, was actually found deceased in a sewage pipe. But listen to Mr. Chris, okay? Because we're not going to find a child in those. We're not going to find him. Right, Blue? Isn't that something? We're not going to find him. Not there. They don't need to be looked. That's a waste of time, I guess, is what he wants to clarify, because you're not going to find a child in those. And yet, just months later, a young man in college that went missing was found in one of those sewage drainage pipes. I will, Charlene. I'll ask about that.
Closed and secured, but the runoff, water runoffs, were all searched by a dive team.
Okay. And I know Ginger Snap said is law enforcement looking into the possibility that he met a friend through Minecraft. I hope that they would all of that just to make sure, because you never know. I'm not really sure how all of that works because I'm not a gamer, but I know that there are ways that you can communicate like via Xbox because my son is a gamer. So, and Gabrielle, I believe that you guys were at the Costco on Saturday. That's when you took the picture of him, correct?
Yes, my
Okay.
wife was at Costco on Saturday.
Yeah,
The
not
shirt
Sunday.
Here we go again. Mr. Chris is confirming the events of the weekend, that he was not there, but he knows all the details. He's the one to confirm it. Oh, really? No, Jensen, I will have to ask my granddaughter because she plays that game. I'll ask her about it for sure. They went to Costco's, I believe, Saturday. They went by BJ's on Sunday, is what I think is the order. I might be maybe the opposite, but I believe, according to Mr. Chris, yes, my wife was at Costco on Saturday.
It's in the flyer where it says Optimism was on a Saturday. They were
Okay,
at
good.
BJ's on Sunday.
Okay. And what
And
is
when it
that?
comes
Is that a
to
restaurant or?
no, they are all wholesale, like a commissary style stores where they sell in bulk.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
So
Costco
He knows a
Saturday,
lot, doesn't
BJ's
he,
on
Sharon, for
Sunday.
not being there?
yes,
He
ma'am.
loves to eat all the samples, and BJ's is new, so I took him.
You're a good mom.
And when it comes to like
Sebastian likes the samples. So she takes him and makes a trip to BJ's just so Sebastian can have some samples. But yet they had to come home Sunday and unload groceries, we find out later. But here she only went because Sebastian liked samples. So she took him. Yeah, she does say that.
one mentioned about Minecraft, like I stated before, he does not have any way to
I
come
agree, Alicia.
with
I
anybody
agree.
on any form of online gaming. That is extremely restrictive. We don't allow that because of what can come of it.
They combed all of the electronics.
I can tell you this with no hesitation. Anything and everything we have given to the police and any other law
Woo!
enforcement to have them
Valley girl. Don't get me
completely
started on that
scan,
one, Valley gal.
validate
That one
everything,
gets
and
me
they are
I'm
currently.
pissed off.
I mean, everything is empty. I mean, they were like, "You guys are pretty good at." I said, "Yes, sir. We don't believe in allowing the kids to communicate through social media or through any type of gaming."
Looks like Missing in USA says, why are they wanting camera footage from Sunday afternoon? Because
That that we cannot release right now.
okay,
That is
I
not something.
Cannot release that information. Maybe because he was last seen on Sunday afternoon. It's not hard to understand. The last time Sebastian was seen on any camera that we know of was Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, it's very crucial.
That
Stan?
has been authorized us to
Right.
put
I
out to the public.
And we respect that 100%. Ginger Snap says, I was reading that his favorite song is Eye of the Tiger. That's a great song.
He's got an eclectic taste of music. He's a fan of Eddie Vedder. He
Oh, well,
likes
he's great.
Survivor. Oh yeah, I mean young man has a very eclectic taste in music.
And you told me that
Taylor
he
Swift,
loves to play
Carrie
chess.
Underwood.
And he loves to play chess,
He has a
right?
crush on Taylor Swift.
Ooh, he has a, oh, well, her boyfriend better watch out then. Was 911 allowed to be called? Rhonda asks.
On the cell phone, is that what she's referring to?
Yes, I believe so. Is that what you're asking,
All
Rhonda?
all devices that have communications have the ability to call 911. Believe it or not, most cell phones have.
All devices that have communications, all devices, he says, all devices can call 911. Even the device that Chris had when he called to report his stepson missing, he could have called 911, but he chose to call his buddy first. Why? 911 is the emergency number to call. It is my opinion that to the stepfather and the stepmother, it wasn't an emergency. Most people don't even stop and scroll through their phone to find someone's phone number. They just hit the keypad and do 911 call. It's so much easier. Yeah, the clearing of his throat. Let's listen to that again, shall we? Let's go back here. Here we go.
All devices that have communication.
Oh, let's go back
Yes,
a
I
little
believe
bit.
so. Is that what you're asking,
All
Rhonda?
device.
All devices.
All devices that have communications have the ability to call 911. Believe it or not, most cell phones that are not even connected to.
September rain, you're right. If he was out of the Hendersonville zip code, then Katie could have made that call. Most mothers would have anyways. He got choked on that one. Sometimes it's hard to get a lie out.
Service have an ability to actually call 911.
Yeah, you can pick one up off the shelf at a store and most will call.
Yeah. That's become a federal thing. That's not a service provided. That is like a federal thing.
We
Right.
wouldn't restrict safety features even if we could.
Yeah. Safety is not restricted in this house.
Okay, I do have one other question before I read what was his is saying. There was something I was going to ask you. Let's go ahead and do what was his question right now. Shackle Island Road and New Shackle Island Road, are they in the same area?
New Shackle Island Road runs parallel to Long Island. Old Shackle Island Road is actually farther directionally. It would actually be south in front of the hospital, the Hendersonville Hospital. That is roughly, I think, 4 or 5 miles from our house.
Okay. Okay. Single Mom, that's your favorite song too. Now, something I do want to ask you is, because I've been watching social media, because that's what I do. I share missing cases on lots of different social media platforms, and I was very disappointed when you told me that people were harassing you and attacking you. Is there anything that you want to put to rest while you're here tonight, or make clear to the public about this situation? I know you told me there was a statement that you wanted me to make about you and the mom and the dad. So if you want to make any clarification about that, you have free reign to do so. We will not allow you to be disrespected here on this platform.
Folks, let's just make it very plain and clear, and everybody listen really close to this when I say, when you come to social media and put your personal information and stuff out there, you open yourself up to the attacks. There are so many hateful people in this world, and a lot of those hate people are on social media. Me as a creator, I took a lot of time to think about it before I ever started my channel up. I had had my channel for a very long time. I believe it was 2012 when I started. And I would go into chats and listen to people and listen and make comments and, different things. And then I decided I had things I wanted to say. And so therefore, I had been on this platform long enough to know the hate that's out there. So I knew at some time I would be attacked for my opinion, because there are people that believe their opinion is the only way to present yourself. I'm a very open and honest person. I'm not going to tell you anything as truth when I know for a fact it's a lie, because that would be dishonest. And I'm not going to tell you things that I think in my head, in my opinion, I'm not presenting it as truth. But I also knew that people would take it as if I'm doing that, and I would open myself up to the attacks. This family chose YouTube for their very first interview. They did not, as a collab, the three parents did not speak out in the very beginning, when the most crucial time of him going missing and people needing to hear from them what he's like, what does he do, how does he react to certain situations, things they needed in case they might think they saw him. They chose to come to YouTube. And they chose someone through their family that knew this creator. And at that point, they were already being criticized because they hadn't even spoke to the news. They had not even gone and had a conversation with the news station, the newspapers, nothing local. They remained quiet, and people thought that was a huge, huge red flag. And I'm telling you, with you being in chats, you are opening yourself to criticism from others. It's just the way it works. No, I'm just saying social media comes with criticism and harassment and things to that sort. And this is the platform they chose. Carl, I'm not justifying any of it. It's just an acceptance that I made before I ever spoke out on social media. They've been on social media. They followed other cases. Chris himself said he knew the Summer Wells case very well, followed the Riley Strain case on social media. Yes, Seth didn't come out until after they started speaking. They were going to do it as a group, and they chose just the two of them to come on here and speak. And no, I'm not justifying anything because it's not okay to attack. But we're not attacking them, we're questioning them, the things that they're saying, how they say it. We're questioning so much of their actions. But I never, ever said anything negative towards any of the parents before they ever spoke out. And it took me a while before I even started questioning them because I wanted to give them the chance. I wanted to see how they continued with their story, their narrative, and how they handled things. But when I found out that they left on vacation very soon after their first interview on YouTube, my mind was blown. But they knew what they were setting themselves up for. And they chose to come on this platform anyways, is what I'm trying to get at.
Um, it, I have no malice or ill intent toward anybody. Everybody has an opinion.
Of course.
But what is factual is that the father, the mother, and myself have been extremely cooperative. We have been vetted. We have been checked out. We have been questioned and everything of that nature, and literally have been cleared. There is no wrongdoing. There is no negative input from the parents or any of the family. You know, it's hard for a lot of folks. I mean, I will be honest and say this out loud. I have a custody case that is currently going on in another state, which has been brought to public light because people feel that they want to judge and think that they understand what's currently going on, and they don't. Because of that, I am being looked at in a very foul way. Um, I
Hmm.
I don't need to repeat anything that's being said, but
Right.
I think in the very beginning, we all had questions. No, they were in Oregon within a week after this. They were all the way across the state, all the way across the United States. Sorry, guys, I got choked up. Um, but I don't think they were looked at like they are now in the very beginning. I think people questioned why they're not speaking out. Everybody kind of thought that was very strange. And in the very beginning, we knew very little. At this point, we didn't even know about his custody battle until he mentions it here. No one was digging into them at this point. And if there were people digging into him in that way, I had not heard of it at all. And I listened to this, and to me, there were red flags that made me want to ask more questions. I even had questions for Seth when he first spoke out. So, no, yeah, it's, I'm good with Carl asking that. That's my biggest thing is they brought this case to YouTube, knowing all that had been done with Summer Wells and with Riley Strain's case and how deep everybody jumped into it instead of going to their even local news. The people that were around that area that could actually help, they did not reach out and beg for their help. They came to YouTube. And to me, that made me question what their motive was.
You know,
But
and it's
people that are
perfectly
there's
okay.
people that's probably seen it on social media, and I want you to be able to have the opportunity to defend yourself. We have 248 people watching right now, and I'm sure that anyone that's watching this on the live stream, please respect this family. I mean, you can't have an idea of possibly what they are going through, and it's really not any of your business what is going on. And I understand that you do see your other child, which, and that doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian. And you guys are on good terms with his father. There's not like there's any custody battle between the mother and Sebastian's father. I mean, obviously, if he wants to see his father, you guys told me that, you just plan to meet up, and it's no big deal. So, I've read a couple of heinous things that people are saying, and it just really upsets me to know that people are just going to that without having all of the information and knowing that law enforcement has interviewed, interrogated everyone in your family. They have looked into you. They have all of your devices, and that they basically cleared you guys of any involvement in Sebastian's disappearance. And I just wanted the public to be able to hear you say that, because you do have the right to defend yourself, because it's not like you said earlier, it's not about you, it's about finding Sebastian.
See, Star, that's what I thought when I heard this at the very beginning. I couldn't understand why he was so defensive, with the very first interview and bringing up the fact that they were being attacked and hated on and all this stuff, when I had never heard any of that. Never heard any of it. But he was preparing himself, I suppose, for what's going to come, because he had been part of the true crime community following cases. And at that point, we didn't even know about Nina. We didn't know all of his other wives. We knew he had been married several times. That was brought out. So, yeah. I mean, I just, at the very beginning, didn't understand. I had not heard all the hate. None at all. I did have red flags go off in my head because I didn't understand why some things were said the way they were. And from the very beginning, I just didn't understand why the mother can't speak for herself. And I still have that same question. Although they say she can. And she did one interview by herself. But you're the mother. There's no one in this world that can speak for your child like a mother can. Oh, yeah, Carl's fine. He can have his opinion and he can tell us how he feels, and it's okay. He did it very okay and respectful. And like I said, guys, we have to be open to other opinions. It's just trying to figure it out, right? C-Star, that's exactly it. We have to figure all of it out, you know? And if we're not open to other opinions, then, you know, we're not doing this for Sebastian. It's only when you become a part of the father side or the mother and stepfather side that you don't have any error in there for extra opinions. But when you're on Sebastian's side, you have to be able to be open to other thoughts and ideas. Because it takes everybody. Yes, yes. They were not cleared. He says they've been vetted and cleared and all the things. And it's just another red flag we found out later, you know? Yeah, Carl, most people are real careful and touchy, you know. Yeah, Blue says it best. We're not Team Proudfoot. We're not Team Rogers. We're Team Sebastian. And yeah, we can talk about it now in the way we're talking about things, but in the very beginning, when this first came out, I had a notebook sitting beside me. I had questions because some of it wasn't clicking for me. Yeah, that is a little questionable, you know, but Carl, I'll be honest with you. You know, Carl said, I'd like to point out that Sebastian went missing 8 years to the day that Katie filed for divorce. Seth said, sorry, I had to clear my throat. Oh, where'd you go now? It just jumped. Hang on, let me get back to Carl's thing. I hate when it jumps. Seth said she destroyed his nuclear family that day. Yeah, you know, I'll be honest. I've never really been one to jump on that bandwagon of they chose this day for a reason. They chose the date just to rub Seth's face in it. I mean, I've heard all kinds of versions. It is a peculiar coincidence. I do believe they wanted something to happen. And for everything to play out the way it did, that was going to be the time. And instead of maybe Sunday, they chose to do Sunday night so that she could report it missing on the day of the anniversary, just to add a little sprinkle in there. I don't know. I've just never thought it was done intentionally that date. I just think it might have been more coincidental. But, you know, Seth thought it was very peculiar. And Seth spoke out about it. I just never have been one. I have seen the divorce decree documents, and I do know it was that date. Seth confirmed it. Katie's confirmed it. But I just didn't never think much about that date. But also look at things this way. I wasn't looking at things intentionally done and chosen that date for that reason. I was looking at what happened that day that could have caused Sebastian to go. And there's no evidence that Sebastian ever left that home on his own. Yes, Pink Warrior, it takes a village to be the voice for all these missing kids. That's right. So, I don't know. I mean, was it done intentionally on that date? It was it just a coincidence that all things happened and played out and it became that date? It's possible. So I don't know. I don't hold much on that. I'm just more concerned with the fact that that day happened and Sebastian wasn't nowhere to be found. So that's more important for me.
Correct.
Yes.
And I just don't want to have people to be dragging you around on social media. Isn't it already difficult enough that your child is missing?
That's beyond words. This is a feeling that I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't
wouldn't
care.
wish this on
Nobody should
anyone.
ever have to endure. It is not something that should ever be wished upon for anyone.
Now, I do
Katie tried to tell us something. And once again, Mr. Chris overtalked her.
see Miranda. Miranda has a child that is special needs as well, and we've covered a case on my channel involving her child in the school system here on my platform. So Miranda is a very strong advocate for kids that have special needs and them getting fair and equal treatment. And she says, how is his skills on walking around on heels or without a trail? Because my son would stumble if he had to step over a 1-inch rock or any form of incline. So, I mean, is he able to walk good? How is he able to navigate on his own? Is he able to walk good? Can you hear me?
At this time, it seems to be a conversation that was going on behind the scenes here, and they've muted out for a minute. But Sebastian didn't seem to have issues walking, but we only saw him walking on flat surfaces. So, the only thing I think of when it comes to Seth is he was in a lockdown facility. And when it's locked down, there is someone at the door that has to release the door for you to exit. There is documentation of when that happens, and Seth was never shown anywhere leaving the facility that night. And for a person to be responsible for a child missing, then he would know what happened. And I don't think he would be going to the extent he is trying to find him. That's the way I see Seth. Good night, Cecilia. Love you.
Did I lose you guys? Can you hear me? Chris, are you there? Can you hear me? Trev, are you there? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you.
Okay, maybe Chris lost signal. We'll give him a few minutes to come back. They may have had to mute out. Thank you, FarQ. I appreciate it. Chris, we're not able to hear you. They may have gotten cut out with their Wi-Fi service. So if you need to come back, please let us know. I'm going to go over here to the chat while we wait for Chris. They may have had a phone call or something to come in, so we'll give them a few minutes. No rush. Supposedly blocked from the
Kind of skip through here till we get
They're
to them.
smarter than you think. Wow, discovering the truth. That is they have the, and look, Chris dropped. He must have lost his signal, guys. You hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's like a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? I figured you might have lost signal.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll figure it out. We get it back every once in a while.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I understand.
He's high functioning. I mean, he's fully able to hold a conversation, and he walks and he loves to run.
Okay, well, that's good. And Rhonda wants to know if he has a special.
He's high functioning. We were just told he's very young in mind. His body has not caught up. I mean, his mind has not caught up with his body and his age, but yet he's high functioning.
Button on his phone.
No,
On his phone?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay.
But he doesn't have his phone.
Yeah, and he left his phone at home, so he doesn't have it. Was his says, I'm local and I'm trying to get a direction. Thank you. And says something about exit 5. Are you guys close to exit 5?
No. Well, that depends.
Exactly.
You can access off of what they call New Shackle Island Road, which I believe is exit 6.
Yes,
Now that I'm going to bring this out about the GoFundMe. Seth did not start that. His sister did to help Seth get flyers made, to help with his bills while he's searching. He was on having issues with his shoulder, but at the time he was not on an disability, short-term disability yet. He was still working till they could get ready to do his surgery, and then he would be on the short-term disability. And the whole GoFundMe thing wasn't an issue until Mr. Chris made it an issue. And it was his sister that did it. And so, yeah. But I mean, Mr. Chris had his mommy to take care of their bills and stuff, right? While they were off working, I don't know, in Oregon. When they went to the biker rally in South Carolina. So, I mean, his sister didn't have the money just to hand over, I guess. I just never thought nothing bad about the GoFundMe. I was fortunate enough when I lost my son that I had money at the time to pay my bills. it just doesn't make sense to me how it's things like that that become such a huge issue when there's so much more to it. A GoFundMe had nothing to do with Sebastian going missing. It has no relevance to where Sebastian is right now.
Thank you, Mrs. Clem.
Yeah, I believe it's exit 6 and exit 7 will be in Indian Lake. But as far as the special button on his phone, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, me either. And I know Discovering the Truth said that, her child was able to get around the security system that they had kind of set up on the phone, so they couldn't access the websites, that it was locked. And apparently he got around it and was
Okay.
able to access it. And I guess that's kind of what they were talking about, in a couple of the texts in the chat. So that's what I was trying to address, because a lot of the people that come to my streams, they have children that are also autistic. So they deal with a lot of situations, and they can understand some of the things that you may be dealing with at this moment. I can only imagine what you're going through, not knowing where he is.
We
September Rain, you said this red flag for you. What was it, September Rain? Do you want to share with us what your red flag was? Hold on just a second, guys. I'm trying to find my speaker where I'll put it. Are you laying on my speaker, little girl? I don't know where it is. Okay, let's see. Okay. But why go okay, the vacation, is that what you're saying? Yes, they were on vacation when Nancy Grace talked to them. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the number's up here if you want to call in. Anybody's welcome to. Let's go back over here and play some more.
Without publicizing our address, the best I can tell you is we are off by the beach area, and that kind of area is where they've predominantly been focusing their searches.
Right.
When it comes to the special button, no. Just so some parents are aware, even if you lock down your child's phone, some children can actually turn their phone into safe mode, which would bypass the parental locks and then allow a child to go on the internet. There is a way to block that. You would have to look that up. That's too much in depth to go into. But no, I mean, when I say we're strict, we lock it down. We lock it down.
Okay, well, that's good to know. David Bryan.
Woo! September Rain hit it on the head. He had to be cleared in order for his custody case to continue. Ding, 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 ding. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe September Rain said it all. That right there to me is exactly the timing in all of this, in my opinion. And that speaks volumes. Sorry, guys, my throat's getting sore. Okay, I'll be looking for it. What else was I was gonna do something else real quick. I forgot what I was gonna do. Anyways, you know, this is where the different sides of opinions come in and cause a lot of issue, because if people are not open on both sides to hear different versions, it becomes a showdown. And at the end of the day, folks, all we have are opinions. That's it. The only facts we have are the words that the parents have said. The mother who was last seen with that child has the most important words to say in this whole entire case. Mr. Chris tells us and tries to convince us daily he was not there. But he tries so hard to have his words heard. And so Seth he was not there. He was at work. It's Katie's words that I cling to. But her words get over spoken by her husband's. Folks, when you're married, you represent your spouse in the way you act and the words you say. It's just the way it is. And we heard at the very, very beginning of all of this how Katie tells us, okay, we got a private number coming in. Hello?
Yeah, hey, Wally.
Hey, is this Carl?
Yes, it is.
All right. Everybody, can y'all hear Carl? Say
I
something.
got a little delay.
Okay.
But yeah, we keep saying that Seth was at work, and it's a known fact. Now, law enforcement actually come out and confirm that. But
Law enforcement has not, but the man that was working that night at that door has spoken out before. He has said and told people, several people, that it's a lockdown facility and someone has to be at the entrance and exit of that door to release it, to allow someone in, make sure they're checked in, to allow someone out, and it's all documented.
well, you do know that Tony on TikTok actually said that Seth was in his truck asleep for approximately 2 to 3 hours that night, and then he did come back on Brittany J's channel later and share voices from behind the wall or whatever was on panel that particular day, and he tried to change that story.
Yes. Now, see, Tony's the one that said that. I don't know where that came from. I'm going by the guy that said that he has no documentation of Seth leaving until his shift was over.
Okay, but we don't know. I mean, no official has actually came out. I mean, there's not been a press conference or anything.
They've not cleared. They have not cleared Seth. They have not cleared Katie, and they have not cleared Chris. None of them.
And I agree with that. And I don't think it would be or should be until we know exactly what happened.
Right. Now, I agree with it. I mean, if that's what they're going to do, I'm glad they're doing it with all three. You know what I'm saying? Until we
Yeah.
know for a fact what happened to Sebastian. The
Yeah.
three people that had the closest contact to him, they are still suspects.
But I mean, to me, you know, the GoFundMe, and you can say, well, it's in his sister's name, you
Yeah.
know, and
I just
that's
never
fine.
thought much of the GoFundMe thing. It
On
got
day 2 or 3, you don't think that's weird? You don't think he's going to be found tomorrow? What do you need a GoFundMe for? You know,
well,
that's weird to me.
it does cost a whole heck of a lot to make those flyers.
Actually, I think you can get the flyers for free from the TBI, right?
Well,
I think
not
you can actually go to like copy places, and for circumstances like this, they'll be free. So
some
I don't
to
know
a certain
what you
amount
need
you
money.
can get free, yes. But I do know they were getting flyers made by the thousands in the very beginning.
Right, you're saying they. You know what I mean?
Seth he was having, and his group was having flyers made. They were there. People could come pick, and they signed a sheet saying they were going to go out and search or whatever. They would take flyers. They were keeping them available to everybody that needed them.
But you know, I mean, okay, we're saying Tony said that, you know, he possibly wasn't accounted for 2 or 3 hours that night. Now, I don't know. I'm just going by what he said.
I know.
And then we're going back to the date, February 26th, which is 8 years to the exact date that Katie filed for divorce. That sounds like revenge to me. It really does. I'm sorry.
It
That's how I see
does. I mean, I get that.
That's one hell of a coincidence.
It is. It is quite the coincidence. And I wondered about it, but I never took a whole lot of stock in that being the date, the reason for the date. I don't know. I just never.
Well, I think, to me, that's the whole reason why I'll just say, quote unquote, green team pushed so hard to change the date, because they didn't want that date to be obvious.
No, but that's not it. You know, me being part of the green team, I was part of that. Let's get the correct date. And that's because he was last seen leaving Texas Roadhouse. No one saw him come home.
Well, I often question if there isn't actually, you know, video footage that we don't know about. I really do.
And that's the thing.
I think maybe that's why the date originally was what it was, the 26th. I don't think it was based on what somebody said, you know. But I think it's also odd to me that Seth has done these vigils or whatever you want to call them, and you never see any law enforcement presence. I mean, he literally even had like a motorcycle ride. I didn't see no police escort. Now, you know, if he worked for the sheriff's department, I think that's a little weird.
Well, I know this. There have been sheriff officers there. There have been paid officers at some that were from a different county, but there for security. And in the 1 year vigil, we saw it on camera, you know, because they had it on camera. You could see a whole row of officers there.
And I just want to say too, and I know I'm going to get beat on in chat.
No, you're good. You say what you need to.
Okay, so, you know, Seth did his whole protest thing, not this past week, but the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he had very little support, and I know it was said because people are scared or whatever. You know, I don't know the real reason why he had very little support, but if you go back to the Thursday of that, okay, Thursday of not this last Thursday, but the Thursday before, and you listen to what Seth said, he said some pretty bizarre stuff. And I'll give an example. He was actually talking in present tense as if he has recently been trying to encourage Sebastian to drive. That's weird. And if you don't believe me,
where was that at?
Well, I think Jen or something like that was the one that maybe actually had the footage. I don't know if you can find it there, but if you go to shown. And if you go to the hour and a half minute mark, is exactly where he starts talking about. Basically, it sounds like he's, in current time, trying to encourage Sebastian to drive. That's weird. That's very weird.
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those. I know I have heard him say, if you can find a phone, run to the phone. Run to someone with a phone and tell them who you are. Your dad's looking for you. I know he's done that before. I haven't heard that part though. I will go definitely listen to that because I want to hear
I'm telling
what you're.
you, you don't need to do it on your live or nothing like that. You can
No, I will. I will do it later.
You can find Jay for Justice and go to the hour and a half mark and just listen for about 2 minutes. It's very bizarre.
Okay.
Very, very bizarre.
Okay. I will definitely listen to that because that does, I guess I just need to hear it. I guess I didn't know he had said that.
Well, and Seth has also said multiple times that he knew exactly where the cameras were in the neighborhood and he knew the camera angles. I mean, that's pretty strange.
Well, if you remember, Seth was there for a couple of days. And he was making it a point to learn where those cameras were. And he talked about that one time on one of his lives that he studied those cameras around that neighborhood, and Sebastian would have been seen at some point or another.
But supposedly law enforcement, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's just what he had said. I remember hearing him say that.
Supposedly law enforcement tried to quote unquote walk around the neighborhood at dark, at night, whatever, in the dark, and they weren't picked up on cameras either. So I don't know. But the date, I'll never get back. For me, once you see the date, I just can't.
You think that's big?
There's no way. I mean, if that's a coincidence, then I got oceanfront property in Indiana.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things that just, it definitely sticks out. I just have never put a whole lot of push into that date. So, that's just never
I can respect that, but I mean, at the same time, I just, once you see it, you can't. I don't think
that is very big.
Honestly, I don't think law enforcement would have ever, stumbled upon that date. And I don't even know if they're aware of that date. Really, I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? That's the thing. We can sit here and say all we want to, but we don't know what law enforcement has and does not have, what they know, what they do not know.
I agree with that. Wholeheartedly, I agree with that.
So
but it's also just funny.
Putting out what we can say and what we can see and what we can hear. That's all we can do.
That is all we can do. But it is also kind of weird that everybody wants to say, law enforcement is corrupt in the county or whatever. Well, the fact of the matter is we don't know that. And what we do know is that law enforcement is not speaking with Seth. And I don't think going up there with a karaoke box and hollering at the sheriff's department is a good way to, get anything from them.
Well, if you go back and you listen, you will hear me say those words. I'm not big on protesting. I am not big on making a big production like that. It's not going to get anywhere. If they feel a certain way about you or about what you're there for, it's not going to change their mind. It's just going to piss them off, basically.
Right, exactly. It's almost.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, he chose to do that, and I'm not going to shame him for it or anything. That's what he chose. And, I mean, that was his choice to make. So, like I said on here before, that's not the right approach to make.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And he, also his cash app was getting dropped, etc.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, and he also said that he needed a fuel pump for his truck. Well, his truck was there. If he needed an $800 fuel pump,
Right.
his truck wouldn't be there, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know nothing about his truck or anything.
Well,
So
he openly said that, though. He openly said that. But no, I'll leave you alone, and I appreciate you talking to me. And,
yeah, I'll
but
talk to anybody. And like I said, I try to encourage all different opinions because
I've side-eyed Seth before other creators. Even before Clue, for example. I literally called in to Clue and was like, hey, wait a minute. I don't believe any of this stuff. I mean, but.
And I have heard other people that have met Seth that had just little red flags about him from just a meeting with him.
You got to something like that in the chat saying, ask me about dressing like Seth. Well, I don't know nothing about that. I know what happened, and I know that I wouldn't have done that, but I also know that a lot of things have been said by the opposition, if you will, about Chris and Katie that, hell, I don't blame him, to be honest with you. So, I don't know, but
I just think it's gone to a level that is losing all respect.
Well, it is. It absolutely is. And I mean, to be, in my opinion, the mainstream media doesn't want to pay any attention to this stuff. And I really believe because it's turned into a circus. And I don't think Chris and Katie turned this into a circus. They've literally, for the most part, other than just a few things here or there, kept their mouth shut. But I don't know. But I would beg you to please go and watch where Seth's talking about teaching Sebastian how to drive.
Yeah, I definitely will. I just, my whole thing with Katie and with Chris is not being able to tell the whole story. The most important, crucial time has been told so many different versions. That's, and this comes from.
Well, Seth's story has changed multiple times.
Well, this is where I'm coming from. I'm a mother who lost a child. It was a car wreck. And that day, 5 years later, I can tell you every tiny detail. I hold on to that. I hold that. I remember that. I cannot not remember every minute of that day because that was the last time I had my child with me. I could touch him. I could see him. I could hear him. I could smell him. I could do all the things. And I hold those so tight. And for Katie to have those last minutes with her child and she can't even get her details straight. She, on her very first interview, said she fell asleep at 10 o'clock and she got up and went to bed at midnight. Chris comes on and corrects the story. And it's like, there's a 2-hour gap there. Nothing's making sense.
I'm very sorry for you losing a child. And I don't know but anything about that. I really don't. So
you don't want to, trust me. Trust me. That is not anything. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I'm for real. And
I don't know how someone else would react to the same circumstances. I have no idea. Right? I don't know because I've never been through that. I don't know, and I really don't. Only thing I can say is I'm sorry.
And thank you. And I'm not saying that for sympathy or anything like. I'm just saying those moments to a mother, you don't forget. They're etched in your brain forever. And
I don't know.
Having a mother here that's telling us I can tell you right now, and this time next year, you can call me back and it's all going to be the same. Exactly what he was wearing, what hat he had on that day, his clothes, his excitement that he had, what was happening, what he had just done before he got there to see me, before he took off and left. That phone call of he's coming home to eat. He wanted to eat with me that night. He was so excited, had a great day, wanted to tell me more. All the things. It it doesn't change because that's what happened.
And I don't know, like I said, I don't know anything about that. I'm very sorry for that. I really am. But we don't know. There's somebody else out there with a similar story, but maybe they forgot those details. I don't know. I really don't. You know, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. But,
And that's where I have a hard time when it comes to Katie.
and I don't blame you for side-eyeing her. I really don't.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Now,
I
do
don't
I think
blame
she harmed?
myself for side-eyeing Seth.
No.
You know, with
No.
Dave.
And,
You know,
and all this that we're doing right now, we're doing red flags in their interviews, you know, things that stand out as a red flag or whatever. And as soon as we get through with Katie and Chris, we're going through Seth's interviews as well.
Well, that's great. And I'll tell
It's
you, I
got to
was
be
watching.
fair.
Right, it does. It absolutely has to be fair. I don't want to live in an echo chamber. And that's what a lot of these chats are.
Right.
That's what a lot of these channels are. They're
Right.
nothing but echo chambers.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I'm on the quote unquote opposite side, or you know, the dark side, if you will. But man, I don't want to live in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
I don't. I think for myself. I mean, like I said,
Right.
I side-eyed Seth from the beginning, and I even called in to Clue, be like, hey, you need to take a look at this guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's something, you know, everybody hates Clue on this side, or, you know, whatever. I get it.
Yeah. Now, I don't hate her. She's not my kind of channel.
Well, she's a little foul-mouthed,
Yeah.
and I can understand some people don't like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I've been watching your show since the beginning. I didn't get into that until later.
Yeah.
But there is something that Chris said that really did kind of irk me a little bit. The drainage pipe thing.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. I
It
will
is
admit
weird.
that.
And you
But
know,
you know what's really Go ahead.
not long after is when that young boy in Corpus, the one Tony was on the case looking for him.
Right? Tony's the common denominator there.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking weird.
But
And you remember Tony?
he
Sorry.
was found in a drainage pipe ditch. I mean,
Yes,
a
he was.
sewage thing. The big metal lid was off. And I'll tell you this, my nephew lives there. He was sent a picture from the person that took pictures when they found him. And he sent them to me. I'll never show those.
Well, you know,
Mm-mm. But he was inside that sewage pipe.
and like I say, Tony is the common denominator. And the cranes, let's not forget the cranes. That's a little weird too, if you really want to get down to it. That's
Yeah.
weird. The crane thing. There's another connection. You remember Tony saying that he wanted to get a tattoo merging Caleb and Seth's faces together, or excuse me,
Yeah.
Sebastian's faces
That's
together?
gross. That's gross.
But
Yeah.
Dude's weird. Dude's weird.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. This, you know, a lot of people, I didn't know about Tony on the TikToks and stuff. A lot of people have their opinions of Tony, and I just look at him as he became a friend to Seth when Seth needed a friend.
Well,
Kudos
Tony
to him.
he
So,
went missing, if you will,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And Tony ties back to Pascal. That's weird too.
Oh, does
Pascal,
he?
That's weird. And then Pascal's a failed actor with a low-budget production company called Something Beef. You can look into that. Something Beef.
Okay.
That word beef's in there. You got a lot of weird stuff going on here. You got a lot of failed actors. I mean, Jules, the K9 lady. You can look into that. She's an actor.
Yeah, a lot of
Ponder on that.
weirdness when it comes to this case. I don't understand
A
the
lot of these
festival
people
that's
are
coming up.
intertwined.
You know, the festival that's coming up. We just wanted to be able to put a little card table out there and pass out flyers of Sebastian to remind everybody he's still missing. We're told no. We were
Well, I
told
don't know anything.
the Proud
I
folks
don't
had to approve, and the Bower Sox had to approve, and this parks director was going to lunch with them, and he would ask them. We had to have Sheriff Craddock's approval. Craddock replied in an email stating he had nothing to do with it. And then we get the email from the parks director for the city of Hendersonville saying that there is no type of paper going to be passed out by anyone.
I apologize. I really wasn't up on that. I
That's
did know
fine.
there was
Yeah,
some kind
no,
of pig
that's
roast
just,
or
you
whatever
know, we've
coming up.
been just trying to keep Sebastian's name out there. That's my goal. I am not on a side. I'm on Sebastian. I want Sebastian's name out there. I want his story heard. I want people to know he's still missing. Where is he? That's all we want, you know. That's all I'm
Well,
here for. I'm not here
I
to
agree.
be on a side. I'm not a popular kid. You know, I don't want to be labeled one way or the other way.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree with you. And it's sad, if you will, on the, we don't have sides, but on quote unquote my side, you know, the creators are just simply going back and forth with other creators. And I find that to be junior high-like activity. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't like
just,
it at all. I hate it.
it's disgusting right now how bad that's all gotten. And, you know, home lives are being affected now with it. And that's just a line that's been crossed, and I want no part of it.
Well, that's where I don't live in an echo chamber. You know what I mean? I'm not just there just pushing a, you know, whatever they say. I don't do that. But yeah, I mean, it's fair to side eye Chris and Katie. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that day, I'll never see past that day.
Yeah.
I wish I'd never seen it. I wish I'd never seen the day. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I've never been one to hold that date as something that Katie wanted to rub Seth's face in it, or
That's
Seth
not how I
wanted to do
see that
something,
day.
you know, or Seth wanted to do something that day to get back
Well,
at Katie or what. I just never looked at
it
it
wouldn't
that
make
way.
sense. It wouldn't make sense for Katie to want to get back at herself for filing divorce.
No.
That just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, but
now Seth did say that's the day that she wrecked his word, nuclear family.
yeah. Yeah.
So that date definitely sticks out to me.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that's
Oh yeah.
admitting that.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I really can. I don't know. I think Sebastian lived a life of hell in that house.
I really don't. I really don't.
You don't think so?
think,
I think with all the CPS cases that were said, people I have talked to and heard from privately that live in the area that know Sebastian said he lived in pure hell. And I'm starting to really believe that.
if I'm not mistaken, wasn't either 1 week or 2 weeks prior to him going missing, wasn't CPS and law enforcement at Seth's house? Now, I'm asking a question. I don't know that to be true. So
I know I don't know anything about being at Seth's house. I know that 2 weeks prior, let's see, the very last, it was the 28th, I think, of January. I may be wrong on that date, but it was the very end part of January when CPS came to their home. The last case was opened. And then Chris wasn't there most of the month of February. And then Sebastian went missing. And 2 weeks later, Chris has this case with his ex-wife for the custody of his daughter, and that got put on hold because Sebastian's missing.
Right. Well,
A
and,
lot of
and that,
coincidences. You know what I'm saying?
I'll not argue that, but it certainly wouldn't be productive for Chris to get his daughter back for Sebastian to be missing, right? I mean, that just doesn't make sense. How that's not going to benefit Chris getting his daughter back, right?
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, but neither will those CPS cases if that got brought to court.
But we don't know. I mean, I personally don't know anything about what's actually in those CPS documents.
Yeah, very few do. And one person that does has said it'll give you nightmares.
And I don't know who that person is, but how do we know that person's not lying? You know, it's like anybody should have seen him or have any knowledge.
I agree.
Personally.
I agree. And there was a person that, you know, was being Seth's girlfriend and got a copy of them, and they've been distributed here and there. So,
well, I don't doubt that. I think I know what you're
very
talking
sad.
about.
Very sad.
Yeah, and, you know, I honestly, if you want to know what I think, and I hate to mention other creators' names, but the person you're talking about, her current boyfriend, or the last we knew of boyfriend, I think we're talking about the same person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you notice how he has absolutely self-destructed?
Yes, he did.
And this man, you can think whatever you want. You can talk in the chat, whatever you want about me. I think he knows too much, and I think that's why he's self-destructing. He can't handle what he knows.
I agree.
And when I say what he knows is, I think that he knows too much. I think he's Sebastian is what I think. Within the last 16 months. Well, 15
Are you talking about initials SC?
No, B.
T. Okay. I think the other one self-destructed as well.
You lost me on that one. I apologize. You lost me on that one. I thought we were talking about Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela. Yeah, that's who we were talking about. But
okay.
I also think the other one self-destructed as well.
Who's SC? I'm sorry, say it again.
It's Crabtree, Stephen Crabtree.
Oh, well,
I think there was something he found, and
he found something in the
I
water.
saw him that day when he found it, and it showed on the sonar. I actually screenshotted that, and they said it was a log. There ain't no log that has arms like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think. Like I said, I think I said it in the chat. Well, I honestly believe that Seth has him hidden. Now, I'm not saying he's with Seth, but Seth knows where he is. I do believe that. Now, that's just my personal belief.
Yeah.
I don't know, right?
Right.
But when he borrowed a boat and got water on that boat, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Dude, that made the hair on the back of my neck stand. It was almost to me like, are you returning to the scene of something, like an arsonist coming back to the fire?
Well, I know that he did that day. There was 2 days there where he had access to a sonar and had been given several locations to look. And that's when he got on the boat. That's when he was on the boat.
He was literally sitting still in that boat, turning the steering wheel and stuff. I mean, that was totally a photo op, but I'm telling you, that did something to me that gave me another, thought, I'll say.
Well,
you know what I mean? And then Crabtree finding something in the water. I don't know.
Right.
It's weird.
I don't know. Let's put it this way. Hopefully, very soon, we're going to find out who's right, who's been on the right path, and who's been on the wrong one, the wrong trail. We'll call it a trail. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely take your hand to that, but I don't think we're going to know until he turns 18, and I don't think we're going to go know nothing at that point. I
See,
think it'll just be a moot point.
when Chris said that when he, who knows, when he's 18, he might walk through that door. That gave me chills.
No argument here. I'm not going to argue that point.
I was like, oh my gosh, they have him locked away in a facility like they wanted to do at the beginning.
Well, there's a lot of people that, I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of people that believe Nina is involved and that Sebastian is somewhere on a reservation. I don't personally
I
believe
hadn't
that.
heard that one yet. Oh, good golly.
Well, I mean, what business did Nina have in any of this, right? I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
No, but I will say this. We did hear things about the way they treated her. And it was almost confirmation for some thoughts that people had. And that's what I've been told by lots of people.
I mean, there's friends of mine, I guess you'd say, well, you know, YouTube friends of mine that believe Nina, you know, and all that. Now, I don't. I really don't. But I don't know, you know, as far as having him somewhere on a reservation.
I don't know. That's weird. I hadn't even heard that one. That's crazy.
Well, and then everybody loves Trevor Lee. He's the one that actually gave Nina a platform.
Yeah.
I don't. And I can also tell you that when the whole Trevor Lee and Seth explosion took place on Smiley's World,
Yep.
I was in a chat. I won't name names, but I was in a chat, and that person redirected us there. Now, it didn't redirect us like we do now, but just said, hey, you might want to go, you know, to Smiley's.
Yeah.
20 minutes prior to that. Well, okay, so I go there. Man, there's big creators in that chat. You know, bigger than what Clue was at the time, or, you know, big creators. Yeah. I mean, there was all kinds of creators.
Yep, that was pretty wild.
How the hell did that happen? Right?
Yeah.
You telling me they didn't know that, you know, quote unquote explosion was going to happen?
Very might have. I wouldn't put it past a lot of people.
There's a lot of people intertwined in this thing. A lot of people intertwined. And it's weird.
I agree. I can agree on that one for sure. For sure. But hopefully one day we're going to find the answers. And like I said, none of us have any facts on where he is and what exactly happened.
We basically have nothing other than the dispatch audio and that quote unquote live video.
Yep.
That's all we got.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep. The only facts that we can go off of, and this is my way of thinking, is his mother, because she was the last one with him.
That we know of.
That we know of. That's all we know of. And that's all we can go with.
The last person to see him was the last person to see him. We don't know who that person is in reality.
Exactly. You got a point. Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah.
And I think there is something to that lights video.
I agree. There was something happening at 3 a.m. in the dark.
I personally don't believe in that time ticker or, you know, timestamp thing being stuck for 15 minutes. I don't believe that.
No, I don't think so. I know it was not at the time that the trash truck came through, because there is video of the trash truck and you can see the trash truck. You can see it was dusk. You know what I'm saying? There was some light there. All of that happened in the dark of night.
Yeah, I think that video was more about 5 o'clock or so in the morning, but I don't know, you know. But for them to specifically, personally, I think law enforcement's lying about the whole thing, about the timestamp. That's what I think. And I think they're faking somebody.
I think you're right on that. I agree with you. I can agree with you. I think that there's no way they can look at that and say that has nothing to do with Sebastian's case, nothing to do with anything. You know, that was just some trash truck lights, and leave it at that.
Right, and then turn around and say we don't know what we don't know, and maybe it'll be
Yeah.
of evidentiary value later.
Yeah.
I think the money's getting made with that, but you're gonna have to figure out who. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's it. That's the big thing, the key to all of it. If
But hey,
it,
I'm gonna get in the shower. It's been great talking to you.
all right. Well,
Really
thank
has.
you.
And,
Thank
and
you
I
for calling
appreciate.
in.
Well, hey, I appreciate you giving me an opportunity. I mean,
Of
it's
course.
nice that we can have different viewpoints, but not just automatically block somebody in chat or you know
Right.
what I mean.
No.
I've been there, not here, but I've been there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. And, you know, I've told my mods and I've made it very clear to everybody, people are going to come in here with different views. They're going to have a whole different aspect. They're going to have a different opinion completely. But as long as they're not rude and mean and hateful, we have to listen. We have to accept it. Because
Well, that's how the world used to work,
yeah,
right? I
that's
mean,
why,
in the 80s
yeah,
and 90s.
exactly. You know, because, and I'll be 100% honest. I've said it to my chat before. I've said it on my channel several times. Matter of fact, I had my mind set one way on a certain part of Summerwell's story, and somebody came in and was putting a whole different thought process out there. And I'm like, I need to step back a minute, you know? It made me look at everything a little differently. Now, I didn't have quite the same thought they had, but I did look at things and I did start opening my mind a lot more.
That's what we should do.
Everybody
I mean,
should. Everybody
absolutely.
should. And there shouldn't be different sides, but unfortunately, there is.
Right, but when but in the 90s, the world didn't work like it does
No,
now.
yeah, no.
You know,
I was there. I'm 58, so I was
you're older.
definitely there. I was having babies, and my oldest one was born in '89. So,
But you're older than me. I'll just say that. But yeah. But I don't have no problem, with I
right?
really don't.
No,
I will not move past the day. So I wish I never, like I said, never knew about the day. I really
right?
wish I never knew about the day because that's just like sticks out like a sore thumb. But yeah, if you would please look into what I told you,
Yeah,
about
I'll definitely
Thursday.
check it out for sure.
Bizarre. I mean,
Okay. Well, I'm
very
glad you
bizarre.
told me because I had not heard it. I hadn't heard nothing about it. So that's good to know. And like I said, we're going to do the red flags here on Katie and Chris through all their different times of speaking. And we're going to go back and start at the beginning with Seth.
And I'll tell you
It's
this,
got to be fair.
I'm going to get off the phone, but I'm very glad that at least you're still keeping his name out there. I mean, the back
We're
and forth
trying.
nonsense between creators.
Yeah, I'm not
I
playing
don't want
games.
nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I don't play I don't play well with stupid people, and it takes stupid people to attack people for personal reasons. I just don't play that game.
Well, I don't either.
I didn't even do that well in junior high with that stuff,
Right. Yeah,
I'm not doing it now. I ain't got time.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But honestly, in my own opinion, I think that there's a lot of distractions going on.
Yeah.
A lot.
Definitely. So, all right. Well, good to talk to you, Carl. And you're always welcome
nice
in
talking.
chat. And like I say, as long as everybody's respectful, I'm open. I'm open to anything because we don't have any answers to stand on.
No. And we have very little to go on.
Yeah, very little. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people do think that's crucial. I just, like I say, I've never really took it too serious. But hopefully one day we're going to figure this out. And we'll hear what is the God's honest truth. And that's all I'm waiting for.
Before he turns 18.
Yeah.
When he turns 18, then I think it's okay. So nothing will happen.
Unfortunately, yeah. All righty. Well, thanks for calling. You have a good evening.
Hey, you too. Thanks a lot.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, kudos to Carl for calling in. Everybody has their opinion, like I say, and it's always good to hear them out. And so, unfortunately, there are sides, and unfortunately, people are so stuck on one thing that separates them from ever looking outside the box. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Leo, what's the problem here? What's your problem, Leo? Talk to me. I mean, Carl, he called in. The number's there if you want to call. Yeah. You know, Seth wasn't, I believe, that's my belief. Seth was at work. I heard the man say that, you know, they do not show him leaving the facility. And that's what I go by. You don't want to call in? Okay, that's cool. It's all good. Like I told Carl here on the phone, everybody's heard it from me before. If you haven't, it takes everybody's opinions. But you got to be respectful when you give your opinion and you're in a chat that has different opinions. Because that's the only way it's going to be heard. You can't be pushy. You can't be rude. And so, tell me what your question was, Leo. Yeah, I told him he's always welcome to come back in here. Tina, girl, there are people who do question him. They do. They question Seth and his time at work. Brianna, you heard that guy say that too? Yeah. You know, I do want to go back and I will go listen to what Carl was telling me about. And I didn't hear, that was during the time where I got sick. So I really wasn't listening to a lot of stuff. I'm so sorry, Jensen. I asked a question about what determines a hater. I asked a question about Ilian being corrupt. Nothing was rude. You know, as far as the hater goes, I look at it this way, Leo, and this is just my opinion. But a hater to me is a person who is so set in their viewpoint. This is who's responsible. This is how this happened. This is who did this. And like Carl and I both just sat here on the phone and agreed, someone was the last person to see that child. All we know of is that Katie was the only person in that home with her child. She's the one that put herself there. And all we can do is question that. Well, Leo, TJ can hang, but TJ's also not going to sit back and let anyone be rude. Yeah, when it starts to get too personal and stuff, that's when things start crossing the line, and that's where issues start coming in. I've always said that. I'll say it again. And so when it comes down to all of it, guys, I'm going to end things here. Okay. It's all cool, Leo. It's all cool. But I will end it here on this note. I see red flags in the story that Chris and Katie told. 1 minute in, and there was red flags for me. The very first time they spoke out, the story didn't even make sense. Their timeline did not make sense to me. And it makes me question more. Oh, we are Island High. We're going to go through all three parents. You know, Katie and Chris are mostly together. Chris does some by himself. Katie only did one by herself, I believe. But yeah, as soon as we get through with these two, we're going to pull up Seth's and go through his. It's only fair. You got to make that as fair as possible. And, you know, someone told me that I'm hateful towards the mother. She has a missing child. I'm not hateful towards her. I question her. And I only question her because I know what it's like to live your life without your child. Yeah, Carl questions the date. He questioned GoFundMe. He explained that to us. He has a right to question those things. I question some things when it comes to Katie being the mother. I feel that as a mother who doesn't have her child, no one else should speak up louder than her. And yes, I do question a lot of what Katie has to say. I have no respect anymore for Mr. Chris at all. I lost all respect for him when on web sleuthing, Seth was saying, let's get this out here. These are things that are being said. Let's get this out here and let's talk about this and explain it. And Mr. Chris attacked Seth. Started losing some respect for him there. Chris has a very strong personality. He's a very much macho man. But all respect or any part that I had for Christopher Proudfoot went out the window. When he went on another channel and attacked a creator that he doesn't even know and said the most disgusting, hateful, awful things that I've ever heard come out of a man's mouth towards a woman. no respect left for him at all. I do not agree with some of the things that Seth is doing, or like the protest in front of the sheriff's department. I never felt like it was going to do anything positive to help with Sebastian's case. I said that before it ever happened. I would not go that route. I don't agree with other things when it comes to Seth. But I've never in my life heard of people attacking each other, creators attacking each other, people in chat attacking each other because they don't believe the way they think they should believe. It's the most childish and hateful and disgusting thing I've ever seen and heard in my entire life. And Sebastian's case tops them all. It's gross. It's almost too embarrassing to be a creator on YouTube talking about Sebastian's case. But lucky for Sebastian, I'm not here for the parents. I'm here for him. You see, it's Sebastian that has lost his voice. Sebastian's voice was taken from him, so his story cannot be told. And therefore, Sebastian deserves to be found. I don't care at the end of the day when Sebastian is found, whatever happens to Katie, to Chris, to the Bowersocks, to Seth, to Tony. I don't care after that. As long as Sebastian's justice is met, whichever way it comes out. I personally, in my opinion, do not think that Seth took his child. I think Seth is scared for his child with the possibilities of what could have happened to him. And everyone who frequents my chat all the time has seen it and heard it before. And I'll show it again. This picture speaks volumes for me. Seth has the eyes of a parent who is grieving 18 months later. Katie has the face of a mother who's enjoying life. These pictures were taken around the same time. I screenshotted them within less than a week of each other. My eyes used to look like Seth's because I didn't want to live without my child. I had 2 children still here with me. I had 4 grandkids still here with me. But to lose one of my kids about destroyed me. And the thought of having to wake up every day and not be able to see and touch my child, to hug him, to call him, to be around him, to know that I was going to see him. It about killed me. I cried so hard I had to use preparation H on my eyelids just to get them to open. My eyes were like Seth's, not like Sebastian's mom's. And I do think she knows what happened to her child. That is my opinion. And somebody else can think completely different, and that's okay. And I'm going to put this up right here, right now, for everyone to see it, because it's so important. Myself, along with moderators, subscribers, and anyone in chat, express their opinions. On this channel, we present speculation, possibilities, and show things found for everyone to decide for themselves what opinions they have. We're here for helpful purposes only. We're not here for drama, hate, or anything negative. Please respect all opinions. My content is not to be used in a negative way at any time. I'm not here to cause problems. I'm not here to make things into something it's not. And people can agree with me. People can disagree with me. People can think like I do, or they can think differently. Thank y'all for the sweet words. I don't say those things for sympathy. I say those things because this mama heart has been there. There is a lot of hate out in this atmosphere surrounding Sebastian's name. And it's gross. But I'm just here for Sebastian, guys. Let's make that very clear. Oh, Polly, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. We've had a lot of new people come in. Y'all are all welcome anytime. And my moderators know everybody's allowed to have their own opinions and say what they think. I've asked everybody that's ever come into my channel to have an open mind. We're not here for hate or for drama or for anything to stir the pot. I'm not here for that. I'm here because there is a child missing. That's it. Hey, astrology, how you doing? They do know, but they also see Island High. They see what's out there. They're prepared for it. You know? They're prepared for the hate. I don't put on subscribers only. I don't put on members only and stuff. Because I welcome all opinions. I want to be a channel where everybody can come here. But if you're coming here with the intention to cause hate and distraction and to wreak havoc with other people's opinions, then we don't have time for that. And I'm not here at all just to sit here and let people run all over me. There are things that are happening behind the scenes that none of y'all know anything about. Work that's being done by me and my mods. People that have the time to put into it. It's all for Sebastian. And all of this sides is just out of control stupid, if you ask me. That's just my opinion. Yeah, Joan, I do think, and this is my opinion once again, like I say, everything on here is just opinions because there are no facts. Sebastian is missing. He was last seen with his mother. There are lights happening in the back of his home at 3 a.m. or sometime in the dark of the night. Those are the only facts we have. But we've got to be able to laugh sometimes too, you know. We can sit here and talk about these cases and they're heartbreaking and it's depressing sometimes, and you can sit here and you can laugh and have fun and talk about things and listen to stuff. And if anybody's going to be hateful in chat, we don't have time for that, basically. Yeah. You know, it's so sad that to Google Sebastian's name and all the YouTube channels that pop up, and most of those channels are the ones with the most hate. And it's sad because that links you into straight to hate. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of bullying happening. There really is. There's a lot of lines being crossed into personal families. It's not okay. It's just not okay. Just make sure that when you go into a channel and you hear that happen, make sure they don't have Sebastian's name attached to all that, because that has nothing to do with him. This kid's lived a life for 15 years without all of us, never knowing he even existed. But we now know he did. We now know he's missing. We now know what, Leo? I don't care how old you are. I had a call-in number up. You didn't have to call in, but you were welcome to. You know, it just attitude plays a lot. Yeah, they were just saying you could call in. I had just put the number up and Carl calls. I put it up. Carl called in. He talked to me. It wasn't a big deal if you didn't want to call in. And that's it. Leo, I don't know what your problem is with TJ, but if that's a personal problem there happening, you know, that's on you. It's not on me. Gotcha. Guys, hey, Miss Kelly, you're going to have to go back and watch replay, girl. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Listen, Leo, I would like for you to come back into chat again. Come visit with us again. And anyone else is always welcome. But I will say, very, very strongly, there's too much hate out there. There's too much of my opinion is the way to believe. End of story. If you don't like it, screw you. No, screw you. We're here for Sebastian. And if it takes every opinion being put out there, that's great. Let's put it out there. So everybody's welcome. Just make sure it's respectful. Make sure, like Carl, he explained himself. He told us how he felt. Much respect to him. Leo, we have someone else that's in here, JH, and she's from Hawaii too. Bra comes from Hawaiian Pigeon? Shush. Really? Oh, thank you, Carl. I didn't know the word bra comes from Hawaiian Pigeon. There's 3 from Hawaii in here. Oh, look at there. Okay. Well, hello to you too, Island High, all the way in Hawaii. I never knew that. That's funny. I thought it was just a slang for bro. Seriously, I did. Wow. Look, there's my aloha friend. There's our JH. Well, guys, I think things kind of got out of control and kind of started getting a little wonky. And like I said, my mods are on alert, guys. No offense to you personally. Please don't take it that way. That is funny. I didn't know that. That is. But seriously, no offense to anyone. My mods are very protective because we do have a good chat here. We have a good time here. We have people that come in, they say how they feel or think about something. And that's what I want here. Polly Pancake says, thanks, Leo. This old gal learned something new. Me too. I learned something. See, it takes all of us, guys. And when it comes to Sebastian's case, a lot of people take things so seriously and so intent and get so deep into their way, their thought, their process. So everybody gets a little touchy. Right, Pink Warrior? Yeah, my grandkids are about what I got for slaying, and they're girls, and it's mostly all girly things. So yeah, people do get a little. My bulldog. TJ is our bulldog. She looks out for all of us, but she does it for good. You're born and raised in Los Angeles. Leo, you're funny. Bow wow, bow wow. Oh, guys. Listen, I'm going to get off of here. My throat's starting to get really scratchy. And I just hope everybody can take a step back and regroup and let's move forward in this little marathon we're fixing to do here. Let's push through it because I honestly believe there's a lot of red flags in this whole entire case when it comes to Sebastian being missing. The stories that are being said about the time it came up missing. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing, and we're only doing it for Sebastian. Remember that. And we all have a right to our own opinion. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all. To those who contributed to the channel tonight, thank you so much. And to our new members, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for being here. To our new friends, welcome. You're always welcome. And that's right, Island High. Sebastian. Sebastian is the reason we're all here. Not our common love for Katie, Chris, or Seth. It's our common goal. Sebastian. It's what it's all about. So, guys, have a really great night. We'll see you again tomorrow around the same time. And we'll continue on We're going to pull up those red flags. We're going to call them as we see them. And until then, love and hugs, everybody. Good night.